Saturday's best NBA bets coming at you right now. Off the jump, it's the best bet for today's show. It's called our Daily Sizzler, and we're taking Memphis plus 7.5 at home against Minnesota. Now, Memphis lost last night to New Orleans, and Minnesota's coming off a huge win against Oklahoma City. We have a focus spot for one team against a flat spot for another team, and 7.5 points is a lot to give a home team. In fact, it's a number that Memphis has covered in 65% of their home games this season, and a number that Minnesota has only covered in 38% of their games on the road. And the Wolves are like the Houston Rockets in that they play up and down to their level of competition. In fact, the last time these two teams played, it was in Minnesota, and Memphis won that game straight up, 116 to 110. Take the Grizzlies at home plus 7.5. That's today's Daily Sizzler. If you're looking for my premium play for today, a play that you won't find in today's video, it's a player prop. That's called my $5 favorite play of the day, and you can get that for just $5. The link for it is in the comment section. Yesterday's was Peyton Pritchard, over 32.5 PRA. Congratulations to those who cashed. Now we have San Antonio, and this is an early tip-off, guys, 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, noon, if you're into that brevity thing. San Antonio minus 4.5 at Charlotte. The over-under is 227.5. Nobody's harder right now than the Charlotte Hornets. Winners of 5 straight and a point differential of plus 101 over their last 7 games, the second best in the NBA, second only to the Knicks. The Spurs are, of course, the better team, coming off a big win against the conference rival, the Houston Rockets. Here's why we're taking the Hornets. It's another situation where it's a letdown spot after a big conference win for San Antonio in a non-conference game now, a game that they'll care less about. Okay, now they're in a different time zone, right? That's an hour difference. You're going from San Antonio to Charlotte in a different time zone at a 12 o'clock local time tip. The Hornets will be up for this game. The Spurs will not. It's the Hornets Super Bowl. Flat spot again versus focus spot. I like the Hornets plus the 4.5, and I like Brandon Miller over 20.5 points. He's over this in 8 of his last 9 games with a median of 24 points a game. Hawks minus 1.5 at Indiana. The over-under is 232.5. Jalen Johnson questionable for the Hawks. I think we stay under the total here. The Pacers are the second lowest scoring team in the NBA. Their games average 228 points. The Hawks games average 235. Atlanta plays at the second fastest pace in the NBA. Indiana plays at a much slower pace. And when you have that mismatch of tempos, the slower tempo team tends to control the pace. That's why Pacers games tend to be low scoring. I'll go under 232.5, but I think Andrew Nembhard of Indiana goes over his rebound and assist line of 11.5. He's over this in 8 of his last 9 games with a median of 14 rebounds and assists per game. Pelicans plus 10.5 at Philadelphia, over under 232.5. I take New Orleans with the points here. The Pelicans have covered this number of plus 10.5 in 10 straight games. And Philadelphia has covered their end of minus 10.5 in just 2 of their last 10. And they're 7-14 against the spread in their last 21 home games. They're overvalued by the books when they're at home. I take the Pelicans plus the 10.5, and I like Tyrese Maxey over 7.5 assists. He's over this in 56% of games this year with Joel Embiid in the lineup, including 5 of his last 6, and that's sitting for plus money on most books. Maxey over 7.5 assists. Chicago plus 5.5 at Miami, over under 235.5. This is the front end of a back-to-back for Chicago, and they have both Kobe White and Josh Giddey listed as questionable. Now, both are dinged up, not a ton. So the questionable tag tells me they're considering a maintenance day for both players because they're already sitting out Vucevic in this game. So it seems to me like the Bulls will be punting in this game, and because of that, I like the Heat minus the 4.5. And I also look at Ayo Dosunmu of Chicago over his PRA line. Now, it's not out yet because they're waiting on final word about Giddey and White, but when that drops, take a look at it. I would go Dosunmu over his PRA. He'll be very active tonight, but I do like the Heat minus the 4.5. Before we get to our last game, I want to tell you about an offer we have for a Jungle membership. It's our Super Bowl sale. So from now until the end of the Super Bowl, that night, we have a sale. And for just $170, you can get a full year of all sports, all access Jungle membership. What do you get? Well, you get my full betting card sent to your phone every single morning. I kept NBA, MLB, NFL, college basketball, and college football. You also get access to our members-only Discord where you can communicate with other Jungle members. It is a great community. We have over 150 people in there. We talk sports betting all day long. You also get a direct line to me if you'd like me to opine on any other bet that you're considering placing. 170 for the full year, all sports, all access. It's the best deal out there. At the risk of sounding vainglorious, I think it's the lowest price for the best service in the industry. All right, so last game is Dallas plus 10.5 at Houston, over under 222.5. Two things with Houston, they play up and down to the level of competition like the Spurs do. They're 1-10 against the spread their last 11 games against bottom 10 scoring defenses. And they don't cover big spreads at home is the second thing with them, especially at home. Houston's covered this number of minus 10.5 in just 29% of home games this season. Dallas has covered their end of plus 10.5 in 9 of their last 10 away games and 80% of their away games this season. This is a great spot to take the Mavericks plus the 10.5. I'd also look at Najee Marshall of Dallas over 21.5 points plus rebounds. He's over this in 4 of his last 5 games with a median of 27 per game. Have a great day, Jungle Nation. Put your favorite NBA bets in the comment section, and I'll see you next time with a little more money in your pocket.